Hi everyone, welcome back to Dragonfly Engineering. So this is kind of a busy week, so I figured to get a reasonable episode out, we would do a shop tour. So I'm going to walk around with the cell phone camera and basically give you a quick tour of the shop. And we've got my friends from Game Tamer next door. They are molding more of their product that they sell on Amazon, which is molded here in Santa Clara, California. And I've got a few other things running as well. So we'll just do a kind of a live action tour of the shop. Let me get this next program running. I've got a mold component in here. Get the coolant going. You always have your hand ready on the motion hold when you start a program. Okay, we're good. This is a finished cut, so it's going to run through the night. All right, I'll switch to the cell phone and let's do a quick shop tour. All right, so this is the Herco CNC mill and that program that I just started. And we've got two of these Herco CNCs, which are mostly used for machining mold cavities and tool and die stuff. I don't really do a whole lot of production machining here. And here's our camera. Let's see what kind of effect we get. Anyway, yeah, then there's the toolbox. I actually inherited this Kennedy toolbox. So it's probably 70 years old, I'm thinking. Got all my end mills held in these, it's actually a BioLab pipetting test tube holding rack that's molded out of plastic. It's real handy for holding all of these end mills, even down to the real tiny ones over here. Then I got various other repurposed blocks to hold other end mills and things. And yeah, we got taps, drill bit stuff, key chucks, other random tools and stones, DR collets, more taps. Yeah, so that's about it for that. I think you've all seen the EDM machine, the Sodic EDM machine. With its control over here. I got this one used, and it's about 20 years old. See if the screen lights up. Here we go. Yeah, so this thing's real handy actually. It's still got the electrode in it from when we did the, you probably can't see because of the lighting. But here's an electrode that was used to burn the shapes into that dual shot mold. Then coming back over here, this is the Prototrack. Let's see, what is this? A 16 by 30 lathe. This is a CNC lathe. It's a little messy in there, not too bad. And we've got the old bandsaw here. And we've got the new, the 1965 Dual bandsaw, which is new to me, but it's old. But some restoration needed. Actually, the starter went out on this thing, so I need to do an episode where I change the starter for this motor for this saw, as well as fix the blade grinder here. It's not quite up to snuff. Over here is a surface grinder, and this thing has actually turned out to be pretty handy. Right now I've got a diamond blade in there so that I can do work on refining end mills, like carbide end mills. And I use this spin fixture here in concert with that diamond blade. You can put an end mill in here, load it onto the mag chuck, and then reduce the shank of your carbide end mill with this diamond blade, which is real handy. This little lathe I'm probably going to get rid of. I use this to grind down end mills as well. So I made this threaded mount that a Dremel tool screws into, and I was using like little diamond wheels like this to basically shape end mills to cut more clearance in the shank. But with this diamond wheel, I'll probably just stick with that. It's another workbench for working on molds. This is the Haas TM1 mill, which I use quite frequently. And I actually ran this in my garage before I moved into this shop. And then the old manual mill, which used to have a CNC controller on it. That's what this belt is. And I did buy a new retrofit, but it's been sitting on the shelf for about 2 years. No, actually about 4 years. I just haven't had time to install it. And yeah, here's the sand blaster or bead blaster. I use that for finishing molds a lot. Coming around to the front, we've got the new Graphite evacuation system. This is basically a woodworking dust collector port, which goes around the second Perco mill, which isn't running right now. And here is the second, port that we can use to suck graphite. If both of these mills are cutting graphite for the EDM machine, and that's that part I showed you earlier. In fact, here's another example of graphite machining right here. So this graphite, it's basically solid carbon. And graphite is used for EDM machines. I think one of the viewers asked, because it has an extremely high melting point. It melts at like 5,000 degrees, and it also machines very easily. So it holds up well on the electric spark. The other thing that's used is copper. For instance, this is a copper electrode, and copper creates a finer finish because it's not so crystalline like graphite is, but it costs more, and it does last longer than the graphite. So a lot of times I'll finish something with copper. Over here we got the collet holders, transfer punches, all sorts of parallels, more end mills up here, and I got these plastic holders for end mills, which I'm planning on actually selling these. I mold these in-house, and I can sell these to folks in the future once I get more into selling on Amazon direct. Over here we got more tooling. So here's the shell mill I use a lot, which makes a really good finish. Oh, and these Cat 40s fit into this this Lowe's hardware shelving unit real well. So each one of these fits into a square. And we got our 3D indicator there. A whole lot of drills and more of those molded tool holders that I was talking about. And yeah, and then back over here is the actual dust collector for sucking all the graphite out of both of the mills. And then both mills have a chiller. This one's off. So you can see this chiller is basically keeping the spindle at the correct temperature as it's machining. So that chiller runs oil through the spindle and controls its temperature. So this is the machine shop side of the operation. Excuse the mess on the bench. Over here is the toolpath programming computer. And then we've got our metrology granite over here, which actually these molds are ready to go for our dual shot molding operation. You've probably seen a few episodes of these. Well, we are ready to run these. So looking into the front here, I've got all sorts of kind of deep storage, restroom back there, toolbox, and just more storage. All sorts of random things for injection molding and machining. In the front here is the office area. Nothing too interesting going on here. And a microscope is always handy. And then over here is the source of all entropy in the universe starts in this cabinet, which is the evil, disorganized, and entropy means disorganization. But this is the screw cabinet. It's a dark and mysterious place. A little bit of Arduino stuff, some electronics, this oscilloscope, this amplifier. I'm going to use this old audio amplifier for a vibratory bowl sorter to sort screws for the robots. So yeah, and then we can go next door to the molding operation. Got a few trees and stuff in here. Oh, look who's here. It's Sierra. Hey Sierra, you want to say hi to everyone? She's pretty camera shy. What's up, doggy? All right, I'll let her off easy this time with the camera. Want to say hi? No? Okay. All right, so this is the molding side, and here we've got a plastic dryer right at the front door. And in here is the clean area where we've got a lot of the robots that assemble things. In fact, that molding machine over there is running automatic right now. Let's see if I can zoom in. And it's, yeah, I think this part is for one of my customers, a high volume part, and it cycles once every 15 seconds. And that little pop sound is a steel plate that pushes the part off the A side into a clean container underneath. But yeah, we got the Boy 90 over here, which is approximately 20 years old. We call it Chewbacca because it sounds like Chewbacca every time it clamps up its clamp. We got the blue robot up there, and the 35-ton and 25-ton Boy machines over there. And then that table there is one that we made in a previous episode. And then a few other robots and our glue machine to the bottom left, that orange thing. Oh, and then here is our ultrasonic welder. Kind of hard to see in here. I'll open the door briefly. So we got a Branson ultrasonic welder, which is nice for welding things. I can probably only go to there, but you can see the ultrasonic horn. And then below there are some parts that I probably can't show you. So yeah, this thing comes in handy. I'm probably going to have a robot interface this thing as well to load parts, weld them, and then take them off. Anti-static electron gun blower at the top there. Oh, and then we got a kind of a truck bed hoist to pull some of the heavier molds into the 90-ton machine. All right, so we go back into the back here where the new dual shot molding machine is. We've got the vacuum former here, which April is going to be replacing that heater element. And drying oven, all sorts of different plastics that are currently processing. Over here is the pool table / ping pong table / assembly table / shipping and receiving table, which is probably going to go to a storage area, or I'll sell it if anyone wants to buy it. But here's some of the Game Tamer product that we're molding on the dual shot machine. These are card racks, and then these are token trays. And I've showed this operation a few times. And they're back molding more because they're actually selling pretty good on Amazon. And it's all designed and made right here in the United States. Here's some polycarbonate lids that we got to be optimized. We had issues with silver streaks in the polycarbonate, which are basically long little bubbles, like stretched out bubbles. But we solved it by heating the mold way up. And then here is the back side of the dual shot molding machine. And of course we've got Big Yellow here. Big Yellow is going to be integrated into this machine, this molding machine, pretty soon. So it's going to reach in and grab the parts that eject off of the molds, which currently we're manually watching. But it's going to be better to have this machine or this robot grab the parts, confirm it has all the parts, so that we know that the molding machine won't close on a part in the mold. And I still have to fix up the water cooling system, but it's actually more than adequate because this molding machine is so efficient. It's all like stepper driver controlled, or digitally controlled stepper motors run it, so it doesn't really consume much heat in its operation. Most of the heat is where the actual plastic squirts into the mold itself. So maybe we can see a mold open here pretty soon. While we're waiting on that, I'm starting to fill up the water distribution channel. This one is having trouble sucking plastic. Let me help it out. There, yeah, I got a little bit. When we're running regrind in these vacuum hoppers, the filter gets clogged up a lot with dust, and then the vacuum strength is reduced. Oh, here we go. And that's the parts ejecting. That's some of the folks from Game Tamer on the other side of the machine. They're actually operating it. And then, for those who haven't seen, the toggle clamp system is back here. We're kind of right up against the glass. Maybe we'll see it open one more. Oh, here's a good shot. Boy, there's grime on this glass. So here's the back of the machine working. In the front here is the dual injection units. And we're basically running 2 molds simultaneously in this dual shot machine. It's got a rotary table, which we're not rotating in this particular application. But you can see all of our shoddy heater element wiring there. Let's see here. Oh, we also got the CNC brake. This is a 44-ton brake, and you can bend shapes, or you can put die punch systems in here, or just do like cold forging of stuff. Down here is a bunch of different dies for the brake. I don't really use this brake too much, but every now and then it does come in handy. Here's the controls for it, which are off at the moment. There's the back of Big Yellow, the KUKA robot. Oh, let's see the mold open. There we go. So we're running graphite parts in the front and blue parts in the back. Let me close again. Let's go around to the front of the molding machine. There's a kitchen area, nothing too special here. A couple of nice pieces of wall art. And I did finally finish painting this wall. You've probably seen in the last episodes, this was drywall. So we'll come around to the front. Oh, there's the air again. Hello. Yes? Oh, hold on, let's pause. And then, is it on? Oh, okay. So our mold is getting a little hot due to the large amount of plastic it's running, so I'm going to hook up the second cooling line onto the A side. Of course, it just fell across. With a double wide molding machine, everything is hard to reach. There's one. Get the hex drive for this thing. Okay, so we got the extra cooling line into the top of this A side of the mold. We had these cooling plates on this side, but the mold was still getting a little too warm. So Betsy fired off the cycle. We'll see how we go. This is the controller of the Iapetus 2-shot machine from ITM. It works pretty good. There's more of their stock that they're molding. They weren't going blue, but now we're switching to graphite. And down here we got a conveyor belt to make life easier for pulling the parts. Yeah, actually here's a comparison. This is a graphite color that we just switched to, or they just switched to, from the blue being before. We can see the clamp open here. So this machine has a toggle clamp, 250 tons. I'll find a spot on the glass that wasn't smushed. That's the vacuum loader loading more plastic. And right now the machine is refilling its injection unit. And soon we'll see the toggle clamp unlock, so this big plate will pull back. And then this toggle system will collapse and pull the main clamp back and then open the mold. Just like that. And then eject our parts out. Hey, Marcy. Well, thank you, Betsy. Oh, except we got the sprue. We waited too long for adding the cooling line. And now the second mold is got a stuck sprue because the plastic sat too long. But Marcy will pull it out. Maybe you could put her on the spot, see if she's got the technique. Huh? No, it's fine. It already cooled. I'd get another bite.
In the sprues.
Oh yeah. Well, here's something here.
This one's not
So
long
when
enough.
your sprue won't come out, when you've busted off everything and you only got a nub left. Show the process. Let's take it out of that room and get it pretty hot. And then you stick it right into the plastic.
I'd find a good
Zoom problems. And you basically melt and anchor that screw into the plastic sprue. I just let it sit there. It'll droop around the threads. You gotta wait for it to cool off. Actually, sometimes I'll have a wet rag and I'll cool off the screw to expedite this. Oh, there you go. And then it helps to actually drive the threads in deeper into the partially molten plastic.
Is it even turning? Oh, it's turning. Well, okay, you think
All
it's... Give it a try?
Yeah, grab onto this. Oh, I'd grab it from the tip, so you got a bigger lever to travel.
Here?
I know, the tip of the cutter. Yeah, like that. Man, that one is in there. There we go. You got it. Okay. So now we close the back door. And we got to get the machine back into its cycle so that we don't have all these heat problems. Overview. All right, so now Marcy's on the controls. Oh, it looks like there's an air to clear. Probably it told us the back door was open. Okay, and then start. And there we go. We'll just make sure that this next shot is happy so their temperatures aren't too far off in a startup mode. Oh yeah, I think we kind of overdid it on the. I might have to throttle. I might have to throttle back on the cooling water a bit. All right, I'll do that while you guys are doing your thing.
Once the hot plastic starts going through it again,
Yeah, it's just that we've got the chiller running too. So I'm gonna cut this back to 50%. No, see there, now it's 89. Hopefully the part doesn't stick on the A side. Nope, it didn't. That's good.
oh, but there's a
The
screw in there.
screw's stuck again. Oh, to pull that one out?
Yeah.
Oh, and then that guy hung up. Okay.
So on a cold mold,
Yeah.
those are very much diminished.
Huh. The gouge from the ejector pins?
Yeah, I mean I can see a hint of it, but it almost looks like there's more blush.
Yeah, it's tricky. Blush is the little stripe pattern that we see.
It looks like
That's
there's a
created
little.
from the ribs underneath. Plastic flows through the rib and causes a little surface defect, or not a defect, but a sheen difference, which is called blush.
So even though it was better.
Well, I'm going to start the next cycle. Okay, turn the motor on. We open the back door, which is a safety thing, and shuts the motor off. I'll hit the cycle start button and make sure we're clear. And then hopefully we have no more stuck screws and we get out of our startup cycle. And then our temperature will get back to about 100 degrees, which is what we want. And then we'll continue the tour. This is a nice phone. I like this camera. The instant zoom.
Yeah. You're totally jealous of Marcy's phone now.
We're really mixing the plastic thoroughly, so it's taking a long time to fill the injection unit with the new amount of plastic. And it should stop at 6 inches and a half or so. All right, we got sprues on the right side. And we have parts that ejected off, so I think we are set. All right, I think we should be back into operation. Our A-site mold temperature is getting closer to 100 degrees, so that's good. It was about 140, so that was a little too hot for the polypropylene. All right, well with that, I'm gonna continue the tour. So I'll see you guys. Give me a holler. Back here is the yet to be refined water chilling system. And then our one of our dryers, our larger dryers, which is kind of heavy duty for drying the polycarbonate, which is in here. This is polycarbonate pellet. And you really need to dry polycarbonate pretty substantially to get good performance without cloudiness or silver streaks or all that kind of stuff. Then we got a standard air compressor. And now we can walk over to the new unit that I'm renting. We unlock the door. It's nice to have a dumpster right next to you too. Okay, this is the new rental, which is a bit of a mess because a lot of the stuff has just been moved in. But we got a lot of gaylords of plastic, which is basically 1,500 pounds in these huge cardboard boxes. This is more polycarbonate. This is about 1,100 pounds. Still working on the second table weldment. This is going to be a double frame for this big aluminum slab. This is going to be a table that's going to be next to the yellow robot. And then here we got a manual hydraulic forklift, which works pretty good. I'm not sure what it's called, but one of the viewers asked what this is, and I'm not sure, but I think I bought it on Amazon. And yeah, picked up some rack systems, kind of like what you'd see in a hardware store for like $500 cash. No questions asked. Got a grungy old saw here. More plastic drying equipment to be installed. And shelving. And then this is the other half of that new rack system that I got. Then a whole myriad of kind of hand-me-down stuff, which I may have to do a yard sale or something. There's my Morgan press, the very first injection molding machine that got me on this journey, which is actually for sale too if someone wants that. I'm not sure what the price would be at this moment, but yeah, that's up for sale, as well as some old drill and grinder stuff over there. So this pretty much is the tour. Oh, actually one last thing. Here's some old molds that I have in deep storage. And the front of the new office is, or not office, but this is probably going to be another clean assembly area, similar to where all those robots were running before. And as you can see, I haven't done anything with it yet. But as the months go by, this will probably be full of robots and machines buzzing away as well, which will be fun. Okay, let's see if I can flip the camera around. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that quick tour of Dragonfly Engineering. And I think I'll have some more clips of some just general live action molding and process development on the dual shot molding machine, which we affectionately call R2D2, since it's a rotary and 2 injection dual machine. So yeah, and it kind of has the same colors. So stay tuned for a couple of just a montage of clips of process stuff, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Keep the tool from marring our finish, our bead blast aluminum finish. We'll put some cardstock down. probably use it. Man, that's in there.
What is this?
This couples the thread on the end of the ejector piston to the thread that's threaded into the back of the mold. And then it basically clamps both threads. And then you drive this screw through to hold them together. Otherwise, it takes forever to try to get nuts and everything lined up and screwed in correctly. Where this just clamps it right on. Real easy like. Of course, now it's a live demo, so it'll mess up, but you know.
Yeah, no one watching over your shoulder or anything.
You stick that on and the threads are engaged. Of course, that thing is spinning. Was it? No, I think it was an optical illusion. So you stick that on. So there's enough room for the 1/4-20 screw to go through. And then you put this side on. And then you feel that the threads are kind of synced up. And then you drive this screw through both of the half sections.
So where do you get that part if you want one?
I made it. You can't buy it. It's just custom made.
It doesn't exist?
Nope. But maybe I should go into business selling these things.
So if you didn't have one,
You gotta somehow connect this half 13 rod to this metric larger, like M20 thread. And it's very tricky because you gotta get the nuts on or like double wide couplers and then get it all tightened down. Where this, you just stick it on and you're done. And it's much easier. Like you can see old vice grip marks on this thing where it used to be one piece, but you'd have to thread it all in and then try to advance and then thread it back and then have a jam nut. And it would take like half an hour of like very frustrating work. And now you just stick the two on and then you clamp them together with this smaller bolt that kind of goes through the two. And once this tightens down, it's basically set and you don't have to do any fuss. Check out his eye there. I think he'll scurry off. Hey, lizard. You want to go and seek shelter? Hmm?